I don't know
Okay.
which Katie Hefner to be friends with.
What's that?
I said I don't know which Katie Hefner to be friends with anymore.
All of them.
I thought you defriended me because maybe you needed room for other people.
No, never.
Never.
I would defriend like all the weird foreign names first. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Tonight's topic is going to be all about challenge groups. Some of the leaders from our team are on just sharing best practices and really just things that we've done that have worked in the past. So I often hear, from new coaches, how do I find business builders? How do I find coaches? And challenge groups are kind of like that missing piece in the equation. So if you're looking for coaches, you have to focus on helping people get results first. And we do that through challenge groups. So they're really like the bread and butter of the business. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard the quote from Lindsay Matway where she says, your income is a direct reflection of the number of lives you change. That could not be any more true. So if you're not helping people see results, if you're not helping them fall in love with the products, if you're not helping them fall in love with the community and fall in love with the person they're becoming through the transformation, then you're going to have a really tough time sponsoring coaches and building your team. So with that being said, it's all about changing lives first. And I want to preface this conversation by saying, this is definitely an area where we fail forward. And I've told you guys this many times. My first challenge group, there were 5 girls in it. And out of the 5, nobody had results at all. It was just such a bust. Everybody, I think people gained weight by the end of it. So it was just the most unsuccessful challenge group I think that has ever been hosted in the Beachbody existence. And yet what's funny is 2 of those girls went on to become coaches later. So, failing forward is such an important component, and just knowing that the dynamic of some groups is going to be incredible. There's going to be great energy. The people, are gung-ho and they're ready for a change. And then other groups that you run might be duds. People signed up, they bought it, and then they're having second thoughts or life gets in the way. And that can be a real confidence buster, when you have a group where it's just not going, especially if it's your first group, it's not going the way that your coach's group was that you were participating in, or it's not going the way that you imagined or the way that you hoped. So I think the key is really just knowing to fail forward and just have the mentality that you're a Beachbody lifer. So we eat, breathe, and sleep Beachbody, and not that Beachbody encompasses our entire life, but for me, Beachbody is the tool that enables me to have an incredible life and enables me to have things that I never thought possible before. So by being a Beachbody lifer and just knowing that you're in it for the long haul, those challenge groups here and there that, are duds aren't going to be, that detrimental in the long run. And I think when you implement the lessons that you learn from those dud groups, you can create incredible groups in the future. So I'm going to share personally just like 5 or 6 things that I do in my challenge groups that have been successful for me, and hopefully this will help you guys. And then I'm going to open it up and we can discuss it. So the first one would be lead by example. I know that, it's in the 3 vital behaviors, and it's one of those things, be proof the products work, that we say so many times that it starts to just lose its meaning. But, there's 2 reasons really to be proof that the products work and lead by example. Number 1 is simply you're your own walking billboard. I'm less likely to listen to a doctor or nurse that's overweight and living an unhealthy lifestyle. I want to follow the person that is healthy, that's looks amazing, their skin looks amazing, their hair looks amazing. That's the person that I want to emulate my behavior after, not someone that's not walking the walk. So you don't have to be at your goal weight, but if people see you making progress toward that, they're going to want to follow. But if you're not doing it, then it's going to be a lot tougher to convince them to do so. The other thing for me is it breeds confidence. I'm more excited to talk about things that I'm doing. I'm more excited about my workouts or my nutrition. I'm posting pictures, and it just awakens the creative side. I swear, I don't know if you guys have this, but when I'm working out, I have a million ideas, and it's so tempting to pause the DVD. I actually have a notebook in there because I get so many ideas where I'm like, oh wait, I need to post this. So being proof that the products work and leading by example, my challengers can 100% tell if I'm doing the workouts or if I'm not, because and they're participating with them. So if you don't have a before and after picture, the thing that I would say is, commit to a program. Don't, be a beach body hopper where it's like, oh, I'm going to do Body Beast today and Insanity tomorrow and this program the next day. That's really hard for someone to even follow, your history of what you've done and like try to recreate that. In addition to that, I've really only seen like the absolute best results when I follow a program to a T. So if you haven't had a transformation, maybe you need to start with a 3-day refresh where you can show, after 3 days, a before and after picture, and then bump up to the 21-day fix. So it doesn't have to be like I did, like the whole 90-day shebang. You can start small. Because the thing is, and I like wrote this in my notes, people can buy programs from anywhere. They can buy from any coach. They can buy from Amazon. They can buy from eBay. What's the factor that's going to connect them to your story? What's the thing that you have that you can offer, whether it's, you relating to certain struggles that they're going to be able to connect with and want to, purchase through you. The next thing would be to start small. And what I mean by that is like, I think some coaches, they come in and they have these visions of grandeur. Like, I want to help everybody and I'm going to get like 50 people in my challenge group. And then they come crashing down when it's difficult to even get 1 or 2 people to join. So starting small to me means doing something like a free group. And I know there's going to be some new coaches listening into this call that don't know what a free group is. But that would just simply be something where you add value, expecting no purchases or no commissions in return. So doing something like hosting a free Eat Clean group, which we have a template for in the Girlboss Dynasty coach page. Or you could even use like the meal plans from a workout, like Turbo Fire has a 5-day, I think it's called 5-day Inferno meal plan, which is awesome. I've done it before and I was actually really hungry, but I got awesome results. So you could do something like that, or you could even do like a squat challenge, just something where you're building trust, you're building credibility. And if you're a new coach and you have no fitness background, it's really tough to convince some of your friends and family to spend $160 or $180 in something that they've never worked with you in fitness before. So that's a big purchase. So if you can get some credibility under your belt, build that trust, and they see what you're doing, they get a taste for 5 to 7 days, then I think they're more inclined to like take that next leap of faith and join you in, the real deal. So it at least gets their foot in the door of your challenge groups. The third thing is create value and to paint the picture for them. So, when talking about challenge groups, that term is a Beachbody term. So somebody outside of Beachbody has no idea what a challenge group is. They have no idea what a challenge pack is. And I think when most people think about fitness, they're just zeroed in on the workout program. So I vividly remember thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to pay how much for some DVDs? It just didn't even make any sense to me when I could go to Walmart and get a $10 workout program. Well, I had a stack of $10 Walmart DVDs that didn't do crap for me. So at a certain point, I was like, okay, I need to, try something different. But for me, when I'm talking about challenge groups and challenge packs, building the value is, yeah, the workouts are great. The workouts are phenomenal. But where the most value comes in is Shakeology. That's where they're going to do it month after month. They're going to see results with nutrition. If they start the day with breakfast with Shakeology, the rest of the day, they're at least making better decisions. And as their coach, that at least one meal of their day is going to be healthy. So, I don't want to say that they're going to be eating Oreos later, but at least that they're getting fuel for their workouts and they're at least feeling good. They're feeling more energy. They're starting after a couple weeks to feel the difference with Shakeology, and then you build that residual income. But more important than that, I feel like I'm helping somebody, on a solid path to success. So, creating value around Shakeology and then using the workout as that bonus add-in. So for me, getting healthy is about honing in on your nutrition, and Shakeology is like a great way to do that. And then the bonus is toning, shaping, adding lean muscle mass, building metabolism with the workouts. And I could share it. I have a template that I can, for, how I talk about challenge groups that I can share later. The fourth thing is to pair up, just get an accountability partner or a success partner where you're doing the group with somebody instead of just by yourself. Oh. Thanks. Okay, just because it's more fun to work with somebody, you know, instead of just it being all you. The fifth tip I have is using templates to get on your feet. So whether it's my template or from the Coach Online office, just using templates to at least start the process. And Kaylin, you can, you know, add in with your thoughts on that in a minute here. And then the last thing is just to try new things. So whether it's giveaways, you know, a tub of E&E, or using the point system, which Anna will hopefully talk about. Or, you know, I was thinking one of my most successful challenge groups was a pick of the day challenge. So similar to Instagram, where, you know, there's a hashtag for every single day, where it's like, you know, before pictures, or hashtag goal outfit, or hashtag Shakeology, or whatever it is for the day. It just was like a fun, you know, group that there wasn't a lot of pressure. It wasn't like post your 5-year fitness plan, you know, or something like complicated for people to post. It was just really easy for them to participate. So participation is definitely key. And the very last thing I will say before I open it up is one thing for me personally that, you know, I use for my own success is taking a weekly progress picture. And it's not so that your challengers are, you know, spending hours comparing their pictures week from week from week. It is just simply like to keep them on track, that mental reminder. When I have to get in a bikini each week, I'm like, okay, I do not want extra servings after dinner. Or I do not want dessert. I'm like focused in on my goal. But as soon as I get away from taking those weekly pictures, it's a lot easier to make those cheating decisions a lot more frequently. So, those are some of the things that have worked for me. So now I would love to open it up and discuss and talk to you guys about what you have found to be successful. So who wants to go first? Kaylin, do you want to go since you have experience talking?
Sure. One of the things that I had mentioned was starting from a template and having success on where to go from there. So I found Katie's template and Lindsay's template very helpful in starting my first challenge groups, because it allowed me to just jump in and run a challenge group even though I didn't quite feel like I knew what I was doing. And it showed me the type of content that is helpful for people and kind of just how to direct everyone in the group. But once I started to feel more comfortable, it was really important for me to step into my own voice and put things in my own words instead of following someone else's. And I was mentioning that I've got people in my group who know me pretty well, and they could tell when I was following a template that it wasn't me. And when I started to come up with my own content, they messaged me and told me that they really appreciated how hard they could tell I was working on the challenge group posts, and that they were more valuable to them because I know those people. You know, I have relationships with them and I know what they need to hear. And so it was more helpful for them to have it coming from me. So that was one thing. And I forget what else. Oh, another thing I was talking about is something that I learned from a recent free group that I'm doing, having them do the 30-day free trial of On Demand. Try those workouts, and then also I got a meal plan for them to follow. And because they haven't like paid to commit to a program, I wasn't expecting people to just kind of do whatever they wanted, because usually in my regular challenge groups, they're all following their program. But people were like going to McDonald's to get their salad and eating like a glass of milk with pretzels as their healthy snack, stuff like that. And it helped me learn how to, I don't know, I guess coach, like give them some tough love when they need it, and step in and not be afraid to kind of redirect their path, because typically I'm very passive and I would just be like, good job, everyone, you know, but they're in this for a reason. They want help. They want to lose weight. And I was able to just kind of step in and say, hey, these are some of the things that I'm seeing. I want you to try something new so that you're getting results that you've never had before, and just stick to the meal plan I gave you. Try the Beachbody workouts, because, you know, that was the whole point of it. And they did. So that was something that was helpful, to just not be afraid to step in and get direct when you need to.
Coach versus cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want to treat this like hot potato. So whoever speaks last, just like whoever you want to go next, I guess you can call on.
Okay, Catherine, do you want to go next?
Sure. Okay, well, Katie, at the beginning, you said something about how some of our groups are like total duds, and they are. Like, you never know who's going to be in your group and who's going to participate. So one of the things that I learned early on was that if you have like your apprentice coaches or your newer coaches in the groups with you, then like they can keep momentum going too. So it's not just you talking to yourself. So on my team, we host a lot of challenge groups together, especially if like we only have 2 or 3 new people, then we'll just all go in together, and then it looks like everybody's a challenger because we're all products of the product, we're all working on ourselves. But when we like we will like trade off who posts what days, that way it's not just me talking to myself, it's not just me saying, hey, have you done this, or whatever. In the very beginning, like we still do the preseason. I started shortening it because a whole week is often like way too long unless we need to put more people in the group. So I've shortened it to like maybe 3 or 4 days, kind of over the weekend. I just kind of have everybody introduce themselves and try to like make sure that people know who else is in the group and bond. If they find some, like, because if you post pictures of your dog or whatever, then like you have something in common with somebody else in the group. And I found that if people don't really know each other, then they're less likely to communicate in the group unless they're just really gung-ho about doing it. So we set expectations in the beginning, and I've done the point system several times where I keep an Excel spreadsheet and then I will update it. Like they'll get points for drinking Shakeology or doing their workout, posting a picture, whatever. My team, we do Water Challenge Wednesday. So every Wednesday we post in pretty much all of our groups. We track our water every single Wednesday, and then we try to like tag people outside of the challenge group. And one of their assignments is to tag, like to post on their wall and to tag other people. So we kind of use our challenge groups to network outside of the people that have already bought programs from us too. So that's kind of like the big things that we do. We've also done, Crystal actually ran it, but we've done the Biggest Loser. And basically people that didn't know each other, we paired them together, and then they competed against everybody else to win money in the group. So that one went really well too. But our team has gotten pretty big. So we've, like Kayla, for instance, is split off and she kind of does her own things. But I'm in so many challenge groups, I get to watch everybody. And it's really neat to see how people from all over will kind of come together, and we'll have 150 people in a group, and you know, a lot of them will participate, but you can also have 10 and nobody will talk. So a lot of people try to just like keep it small, but I really like the big groups because we tend to get more interaction.
Was it Erica that was talking last night about the friend requesting, like as that being an friend?
Yeah, that just kind of organically happens in our groups because of the way we talk. Like I tag, like when I post, if it's not too many people in the group, then I'll tag everybody to make sure everybody sees it. And I know that can be really annoying, but in the very beginning, we talk about how, you know, you paid for it. We want you to participate. If you don't contribute and we don't know you're doing it, then you could be wasting your money. So we really encourage people to link up and like if somebody really wants a workout partner at 5 in the morning, then we'll have people like text that don't know each other. So we really focus on the camaraderie of the fact that we're all doing this together.
That's so awesome. Actually, that reminds me of like one thing I started doing with my challengers, because we were talking about this last night. I don't know why it didn't occur to me, but sometimes within a group, there's like a certain fall off point, you know, after 2 or 3 weeks where just like a lot of people, you know, life happens and they just have a really difficult time balancing it and getting back into it. So when I'm talking to challengers initially, one question I ask them is, you know, if I notice that you're not posting or participating very much, how would you like me to step in and, you know, communicate with you? Would you like a phone call? Would you like, you know, Facebook message? Do I need to like show up at your front door? Like, you know, what is it that will get you back on track? And I think just having them know that there is that backup plan like already in place, they already know to reach out to me before it gets to that point, you know, where it's like they just have gone, you know, MIA. But some people do go go into the witness protection program, unfortunately. And it's
No, they really do. And that I do the same thing. So I ask people to introduce themselves, post a picture, and say who they are, what they do for a living, something they like, pets, children, and then what do you want me to do if you disappear? So, and everybody can see that because they post in the group. So all of us will hold each other accountable for it. And they're like, "Oh, call me out," which they don't really mean it, but we call people out. And if people have been gone for a long time, then like they get their own special post, like, "Where are you? I know you said you wanted to do this. What's up with that?" Kind of reconnect people with their why, and that tends to help. But
does anyone do like recognition within their challenge groups?
Yeah.
Like shout outs?
I do. Like if I can. Like if someone's like really killing it, I'll write like an awesome post and be like, so and so, you've posted your meals like every day this week, way to kill it. Like eating is the hardest part for me, like, or something like that. Just try to like for that person, and it kind of almost makes the other people want to like sometimes they don't want to do it so that they can get a shout out, or if like someone sends me a picture, like a progress picture, and they don't want to share the progress picture, but I'll ask them like, is it okay if I share your measurements or your weight loss with the group? And if they say yes, I'll like post something and be like, Michelle's down 5 pounds, like she's killing it, like something like that. So I do try to do recognition. Is that me?
I don't know.
I think it is.
Sorry, guys.
We also have started like incorporating personal development into our groups, which I think is really cool. So I did it as like a trial when people started reading You Are a Badass. I was like, oh, well, let's see if my challenge group will do this. And so I posted that in my challenge group, and I had several challengers that like downloaded the book, started reading it, and really loved it, which I thought that was really cool, and I think it helped.
Yeah. All right, who's next? You can call in. You're the next person. Hi, Wendy.
Anna, if you want to keep talking.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, I've had a lot of like dud groups, but the best group that I had was this feedback is like cray. Sorry, guys. But the best, let me like sit back. I don't know. The best group I had was a free group that I did actually, and it was a squat challenge group. And I did the point system where people got like 2 points for posting their shakes, like 2 points for posting their meals, like a point for if they lost a pound or whatever. And then at the end of the group, the top 3 people got prizes. So I did like a t-shirt and then a Shakeology shaker cup and some Shako samples for like first prize, and then second and third I gave them a Shako cup and some Shakeology. And that kind of motivated them. Also, I think a lot of them wanted to try Shakeology and couldn't afford it. So the fact that I was incorporating something that would have been part of like the paid challenge group into the free group and kind of like giving them a little taste of something was really motivating to them, because they were like, I really wanted to try Shakeology like before I buy it, or like I really want this but I can't afford it, so some samples would be awesome. And I had a lot of feedback and like a lot of engagement on that group.
That I love that you're like always incorporating different ideas, and I think making sure that Shakeology is such a big part of it is so important. You just jogged my memory though. Do you remember last night we were talking about like giving people jobs during the group?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I don't know if you guys do this, but like I will go to basically every challenger in a private message, like not communicating that I'm messaging everybody, but, not broadcasting that, but giving them a specific job to do during the challenge to, I guess, like make them feel like they have a reason to check in every day. So for example, if someone's like really peppy personality or they're really excited about it, asking them to kind of be the cheerleader of the group, the encourager that goes in there and builds other people up. Maybe there's somebody that is really great at the nutrition side of it. So asking them to make sure that they post their recipes or post their healthy meals. And then the other thing is creating like a build-up. So something I do in my challenge groups sometimes is giving people a reason to check back in. So let's just say it's like Tuesday and you notice that your participation and engagement is dwindling, then say, oh, make sure you guys check back in on Friday. I'm going to be posting a meal plan. You know, people love meal plans. So creating some buildup where they have a reason to check in the next day or check in later that week, or doing like a random, you know, giveaway or random raffle for whoever posts their workout picture on, you know, Flex Friday, or, you know, or whatever you have going on in your group. But basically just creating something, a reason for them to come back has really helped, you know, just the engagement. And the more engaged they are, those are the people that get the better physical results by the end, because, you know, it's on their mind, they're committed to it, they're actually following through and doing it. So anyway, Anna, I'll let you do your hot potato pick.
Yeah, no problem. Lisa, why don't you go?
Okay, hi guys. So one thing that I do in my groups, which has already been mentioned, that's really helped me, is the point system. I just think it kind of makes it more of like a friendly competition. And I always give points I try to encourage them to post on their Facebook walls and tag me in it, just because then they're sharing their journey with their friends also. And another thing I do, I kind of got this idea from Katie, but every challenge group I have, I will go back through like past challengers of mine that were really good, people that I thought would make a good coach. Maybe I've approached them and they weren't sure, or maybe I never approached them about the coaching opportunity, but I'll personally message them and I'll just be like, hey girl, you know, I'm running this 21-day fixed challenge group and you did so awesome in the past one. Would you be willing to just jump in there and kind of help me lead the group? You don't have to post anything in particular, but just participate and help me answer questions and, you know, keep people motivated. I did that recently with a girl, and I think she's going to sign on as a coach just because it gives them kind of a taste of what coaching's about without all the pressure. So yeah, let me see what else. I like offering prizes too, kind of like, I think Anna, you're the one who said that. Like in the group I have right now, there's not very many girls in it, and it was just really dead. There was no participation. People weren't checking in. So that's when they had just announced the Fixate cookbook was coming out, and I posted about it, and they were all like, oh, I really, really want it. So I posted in there that whoever was the top participant, I was going to order them the cookbook. And ever since then, people have been posting like crazy and checking in, and just that little extra incentive really helped. So
yeah, for sure. I forgot about the cookbook. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I thought, yeah.
Expensive, so it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I love though the idea of like, you know, bridging the challenger to coach gap, where if somebody's like participating and like doing, Anna, you're like the perfect example all the time. Anna was one of my challengers who was just so awesome. I basically harassed her into being a coach. So good. But you know, like building up people's confidence throughout the challenge, even if you're not saying, oh, you would make a great coach, just letting them know how much you appreciate them participating and how proud you are of, you know, their interaction with the group and the progress that they've made, I think goes a long way. Because I remember getting messages as a new coach from Lindsay and just being like, she noticed. Like, I feel so good about whatever it was. So, you know, building people up is such an important part of what we do in both coach realm and challenger realm. Erica, who else is on the phone? Erica and Kayla?
The 814 is Erica, and then Kayla is on the phone.
Erica, if you could hear us, I would love for you to share some of the things that you do, including the Beachbody Challenge.
Hi, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
All right, you can hear me? Okay. I had to switch around because it was just, I forgot that I was on Bluetooth, so that was probably why it was all wacky. But I'm still driving home from my class. Okay, well, I'll touch on a couple things that I talked about yesterday. The first one you guys kind of talked about before about friend requesting. whenever I'm doing the preseason, I always ask people as a part of their introductions that they go and friend request each other. And for the same reasons that you guys talked about, but for also the same reasons so that they could see what happens to these people after. So if somebody joins another challenge group or if they become a coach, they're going to see that. That's going to pop up on their newsfeed, and they're going to be like, oh, that's the girl from the 21-day fix group that I was in, and she signed up as a coach. So that way they're kind of keeping tabs on each other. And, you know, it's kind of like that friendly competition thing. Like, I want to do what Susie's doing because, you know, I don't want to be left out. The other thing that I do, and I got this, I can't take full credit for it. I got this from Carly Del Carlo. She's one of the top 10 coaches. But she talked about how in usually week 3, but I do 21-day groups. So I do it in like late week 2. I'll hop on the group and just completely randomly, like no graphics, nothing crazy. I'll just be like, hey guys, I just got a few messages from some of you saying that you wanted to hear more about coaching or more about the discount or exactly what goes into it. And I thought that we could hop on a call together and just really casual, just chit chat about what I do as a coach. And, you know, it'll be really fun and really informal. And I leave the Zoom call number, and whoever wants to hop on can hop on. Even if 0 people hop on, I still go through my whole spiel and I record it because it's good practice. And then I post the recording in the group, and I'll hop on the next day whenever I post the recording, and I'll be like, oh my God, thank you so much for everybody who came. I had so much fun. That was such good conversation. And even if nobody hopped on, I make it seem like all these people hopped on. So then they're like, wait a minute, what call did I miss? Like, why did I miss out on that? Oh no, why are these people signing up as coaches and I missed out? So then it started to ignite that little spark inside their mind, like, oh, I missed out. Maybe I need to ask about this or watch the recording. So it at least gets the wheels turning in their heads about coaching without me having to be like in their face crazy about it. Like, do you want to be a coach? Like, have you ever thought about coaching? And they're like, no, it's not for me. And it's more of like this fun, organic kind of thing. Like, oh, all of my friends are doing it. Maybe I should look into it kind of thing. And it's a little less intimidating. The other thing that I talked about yesterday was the whole thing about getting the free t-shirt with the Beachbody Challenge. I'm really big into the Beachbody Challenge. I think it's awesome. At Summit last year, that was my favorite part, watching those people get up on stage and hearing about how they like lost weight and you win money. Like, you actually win money. I have several friends who have won $500 from doing this, so it's real. And so whenever I'm advertising for challenge groups, I always put in there as the final thing, like I'll list all the things they're going to get out of the challenge group, like meal plans, you're going to get your DVD set, you're going to get a bag of Shakeology, you're going to get like all the stuff that comes with it. But at the end it says free t-shirt for all who participate. And it's true, they really are getting a free t-shirt. So at the beginning in preseason, I talk about doing the before and after pictures. And I'm like, listen, this isn't for me. I don't want to see these pictures of you unless you want to send them to me, or if you want to post them, that's awesome. But these pictures are important because at the very end of this challenge group, you're going to submit these to Beachbody and you're going to get a free t-shirt and you might even win money. And I post some pictures of people that I personally know who won money so that they can see that it's real. And I post a picture of me I have a picture of me sitting on the floor with my t-shirts around me that I submitted for so that they can see that you do get a free t-shirt in the mail. So then at the end, usually the second to last day, I post a video from YouTube about the Beachbody Challenge, and I really hype it up. And I'm like, you guys, make sure you're gearing up to take that final picture because you're going to submit your before and after picture for that t-shirt, and you might even win money. And I remind them that they can do this as many times as they want, that it's fun, we all get a prize. And I encourage them at the end, when they do get their t-shirt, to take a picture with it and post it on their Facebook page and tag me in it so that we can all celebrate together, like, yeah, you got your prize. And people love free stuff, especially free clothes. Like, that's awesome. And I know I always get compliments on my Beachbody clothes, like my shirts and stuff. So it's their way of getting one, and it's a reward, and it's for free. So that's kind of what I touched on yesterday that I thought was helpful.
Love it. Was there anything else you wanted to add from yesterday?
I don't think. I think that's kind of all I talked about. I mean, I know I ramble a lot, so I don't know.
No, that was great. Okay, so then Kayla, I think, is the only one we haven't heard from, right? If she's like on mute.
Hey,
Hey.
I think you might have turned off my video too.
Oh,
But it's
oh
fine.
no.
It's fine if you
You're in
did.
timeout, Kayla.
No, we want to see you. Oh, there we go. Sorry about
I
that.
was like, well, maybe it was me with all the feedback. Maybe that's what well, I've only done 3 challenge groups so far, and I think my most successful one was not this current one that I'm in, but the one before, and the current one's been a little bit dwindling down because I was on vacation and I let my coaches take over, and it kind of just started going downhill. But I've been trying to bring the heat back this last week, but it's kind of hard once it dies off to get it back going again. But my previous challenge group, what went really well on it was me constantly reminding them about the participation prizes, and I just collected little things throughout the month, and then at the very end of it, every week I would tell people oh, there's 3 people tied for the top participation prizes and stuff, and I really felt like that was something that kept them going, because even when I was in the challenge group with Catherine, knowing that participation prizes were at risk, that got me more into it. So yeah, I mean, it costs money to do it, but I really think it's worth it because it gets people so much more involved in getting results, and then they want to become coaches because they love it. So yeah, I mean, that's about all I have to offer.
That's great. No, thank you for sure. So I guess we can wrap it up, and kind of what I want to do just to prepare you is just maybe think of one last final thought everyone will share on what you think successful challenge groups look like, or what you need to do to have successful challenge groups. So I will go first, so it kind of takes a little bit of pressure off. So for me, I love formulas. I don't know what it is, but in my brain, it's just plug in these pieces and then it will work. So for me, the first piece of the equation is leading by example. The second piece is having accountability for yourself and your challengers. So, something where they're sending in pictures or you're posting pictures. There was another thought I had about accountability. It's gone. Connection, so making sure that they're connecting, not only friend requesting, but that you're posting things outside of the fitness world. What's your must-see TV show? Post pictures of your pets, anything where they're connecting with each other on a friend level. So it's not just about, okay, let me plug into this group, go in, post 1 to 5 on how I did with food. That is the most boring thing I could possibly imagine. So, adding the human factor to your group, so that connection. The fourth thing would be engagement. So posting fun things that they can actually participate in, like you were saying, the prizes, and getting them to show up, basically. And that starts with you showing up, but then also creating fun experiences for them. And then the fifth thing would be fun. So lead by example, accountability, connection, engagement, and fun. And that to me is the perfect challenge group that equals results. It equals creating that experience for them, creating, bringing all of that together for the magic of Beachbody. And not every group is going to be perfect. Not every group is going to be where you're doling out prizes and everyone's best friends, but there are going to be those magical fun groups that do happen, or, the one person that you completely changed their life, or the people that maybe they bought the challenge pack, but they weren't quite ready to commit. They thought they were, but you planted the seed and they have the product. So when they are ready, I actually have a customer who bought Shakeology and T25, and she's like a fellow dog owner, so I talk to her all the time, and she let it sit on her shelf for several months. And one day, I forget what I posted, but it just like inspired her, and she started doing it. And she got pretty fit for her wedding, and it was just really cool just to know that I had some small piece of that, you know, transformation for her. So that's what I live for, just seeing you guys transform inside and out, and being able to be that connection for someone to make that bridge from their old life where they're unhappy and unsatisfied to this new chapter in their life where they're excited for the future, they're like feeling good, they've got energy. Just I could explode with like excitement for like everything that we could offer people. So challenge groups, like, it's just so important, trial and error, fail forward, you know, to get it right, because you never know whose life you're changing their entire trajectory of their future. So lead by example, accountability, connection, engagement, and fun. So with that being said, who wants to go next? It doesn't have to be that long. It can be short and sweet thought.
I can add
Go through round. What's that?
Oh, I can add something to the things that you said. I think all of those are awesome. I think two other things that I like to add in are at least a couple times or maybe once a week. We do a recipe share, and I found that that's something that my challengers look forward to the most, is that we all post a new recipe that was our favorite for the week, because that's a really good place to go to get good ideas. So you don't have to spend all your time searching Pinterest. We all just kind of try, like, share something we already tried and know is good. And then the other thing was utilizing the files section in the group. And my challengers have really come to rely on that. So I take the recipes people share, put them in the files group, so the files section, so they don't have to scroll through all the time to find them. And so that's also been helpful.
I want to be in one of your challenge groups. That sounds cool. Okay, who's next? Final thoughts.
So I think the most important thing about challenge groups for coaches is that we host them like consistently every month. Even if you don't have a lot of people to put in them, even if you have to team up with somebody else, whatever, you always need to have something to invite people to. Yes. So that they know that not only are you still doing it, that you're still coaching, but that you still care and you're still like reaching out to people, because I think that's probably been one of the things that's helped me most in this business, is that people know that every single month, even if they weren't ready in April, if they want to come to me in July, I will have a group for them. So that is probably my last
point. Great point. And I do think it takes at least 6 months of consistency for people to even realize what you're doing is like a real thing. You know, like when I started, I felt like after 6 months, I finally got some traction where I had trust. But I see so many coaches, it's the saddest thing to me, where after a month or 2 months, oh, I can't find anyone, nobody wants me, they're signing up with other people, and then they give up, and it's just like, no, just stay the course, stay the course, stay the course. So great.
Because I have other people's customers coming to me, like asking to be in my groups now, because like I friended them when we were all in a group together, and I don't really know them, but I'm really consistent, and now they're like, oh, can I be in your group? And I'm like, sure, because I'm going to help everybody, but they're not my customers. Like
future coaches too, so it's, you know, you don't want to lose out on that for whoever's not taking care of their customers.
Right.
Lisa, do you have any final thoughts?
One thing I was thinking about, and I don't know if you have done this in your past challenges or not, but like for my personality, and I have done this in some of my challenge groups, I like to make a post kind of about, I guess you could call it like my expectations for the group, as in like, hi everybody, like this is my commitment to you. I'm going to be here every day to answer your questions. I'll help you meal plan. You know, I always like put my phone over there. They can text me, call me with questions anytime. I tell them kind of what my commitment to them is and what my commitment to the challenge group is. And then I also let them know kind of what I'm hoping to get from them, which is just that they check the group once a day, that they support each other, connect with each other, and that, they just do their workouts and aren't afraid to ask questions or, anything they need. For my personality, I like that. I like knowing what's expected of me so I like to, I like to give that to my challengers too.
I think that's great, set the expectation right from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And two, like we talked about this a little bit last night, before Beachbody, I was never in a Facebook group, and I didn't even know what that was, but I could just imagine myself thinking, okay, I'm in this group, I'm just here to kind of like watch and learn and not participate per se. So like I think saying participation is heavily encouraged.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what fuel the group, that they have that light bulb moment, like, oh, I should post,
Yeah,
not be so shy.
Yep, so that's about it. That wasn't said already.
Kayla, do you have any last thoughts?
Yeah, I just remembered something else that I've been started to do this month, and that's gone over really well, is I have been trying to create like it's a safe place to say like how you failed. And so once a week I've been posting like, okay, tell me what your struggle has been this week, and let's make that your focus to conquer that this upcoming week. And those days are like complete participation. And so I really like that, because that's when people fall off the wagon, is when they keep their little dirty secrets to themselves. And I feel like when you can create a safe environment to bring that out into the light, then everybody can help with that. So
I love that. Okay, so like the other thing you just triggered my memory is, and Kaylin said this last night, actually, the best groups I've ever run, whether it's a Smart Start group, coach whatever group or challenge group, is when I post what I feel the group needs to hear. So like based on the energy, instead of just going off the template, to just wing it, so to speak, and just say, okay, I feel like nobody really has a grasp on nutrition, so like I'm gonna like nail that down this week, and or I feel like they need encouragement out the wazoo, so I'm gonna like focus on that. And as the coach, I think just being dialed into that is so important, and it just makes the group that much more, it's when it's personalized to you, when they feel like you're actually watching, listening, and like hearing their needs. That just makes me feel like so much more connected, So I love that you're like connecting with them about their struggles. And Kaylin, I love that you said that, posting like what you think they need. Those are like great takeaways. Any other final thoughts, like light bulbs that have gone off while someone was talking?
I
So,
actually
do you have anything?
question.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get your thoughts on it, and some other people might have a similar question. When I first started challenge groups and I had my initial group, I didn't know what to do once it was over. So I said, anybody who wants to continue on, post your name below and I'll add them to the next challenge group. So they've kind of all stayed with me the whole time. So now my challenge group is like 50 some people, and I'm starting to wonder, like, do you foresee any issues with that? Do you suggest doing something different? And then it sounds like a lot of people start fresh with a new group of like all new people each time, and I didn't even really think of doing that. So maybe other opinions on that would be helpful.
I love that idea. I mean, as long as you can keep track and they feel, like they want to continue on, that's awesome. That just means, they're staying the course. What I also like to do, I always invite anyone that's ever purchased a challenge pack through me, I do invite them to participate in future challenge groups. Not that they have to, but there is something about being in a new group that renews your sense of commitment. I mean, even for myself, after 30 days, it just feels, I don't know, it feels like you're doing something different instead of continuing the same thing. But one thing that I do is have a customer group, and I forget what it used to be called, like my locker room. That got like super huge, but it's basically just this general fitness group for all of my customers to be in. So once the challenge group is over, they go into this general group where there's no daily assignments. It's really just me posting helpful things, me posting kind of like I would do in a challenge group, but just not, I guess, as frequently. And it's just a place for them to, you know, continue on without having, I guess, the pressure of a daily check-in. So they share their workouts, they share nutrition stuff. It's really cool because if you have people that sign up for free membership, now you're introducing them into a group where maybe they haven't committed to anything yet, but now they're with challengers, they're with people who have purchased product. Those people are posting about it, and then the customer that, you know, hasn't committed to anything yet is seeing all of this, and you're not selling anymore. It's somebody else, you know, other customers are selling the customers. So for me as the coach, I like organic, you know, sharing. I don't like to feel like I'm pitching somebody on something. It feels so gross. So I like having a group like that. I feel like just the energy, you know, it builds. I'm on to my third group in my coaching career because my other two groups, you know, were over, one was like over 4,000 people and the other one was over 2,500 people. After 2,500 people, I don't know, it just starts to get kind of crazy. So you're probably still on like the smaller stage. It took me a while to build it. Like it did not happen overnight. So, but yeah, that was like a long-winded answer. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not Katie, but I do the same thing. I have a customer support group. All of my people that have a free profile go into there. And then I invite, like, especially my really good challengers that haven't committed to coaching yet, I make sure they go into the next challenge group. That way, not only will they help me keep the energy going, but they like have the opportunity to once again see what I do and to like kind of plant that seed of coaching too, because all of my people that all my really good challengers, I try to convert to coaches.
I was going to say, I don't think I have any long-term challengers because they've become coaches. So are these people that are just like, no, I don't want to become a coach. I'm not into that, or what?
I don't know. This is probably something for another team call because I just feel like I'm horrible at inviting people to coaching. So I probably have a lot of great people sitting there, but when I talk about it, they're like, oh yeah, I wanted to check into that. I'll get back with you, this week. And then I kind of just start up a new conversation with them having nothing to do with it, try to make it come up again. And it just never feels like I get that solid, do you want to be a coach? And solid yes or no answer. It just is so beat around the bush.
So I'm direct, I guess, because I am obsessed. And from being in Cancun, you've had the Beachbody, like, oh my gosh, this could be such a dream life experience.
Yeah.
You have, the tale to tell, basically, and share. So I guess, like, when I'm talking to people, like, literally, I wish Anna was still on, because I said to her, girl, why are you not a coach? Like, I was like, I didn't say, are you stupid? But I'm like, why are you paying full price and you're already doing what I do? And you don't have to do what I do full time, but I mean, what is it? Why aren't you a coach? And, that's where you can get the objection. Oh, I don't have time. Oh, I don't understand it. Oh, I thought it was like a scheme, or, I don't know, whatever. And then you can address that concern head on instead of this like long drawn out process. I've even gone as far as like, if someone, is thinking about becoming a coach, I'm like, literally, okay, here, watch this video and I'm going to check in with you on Thursday. Tell me what you thought about it, what you liked about it. So there's no like mystery as to like what I'm going to say next to them. There's no like, oh, I wonder if she's going to ask me about that. I just tell them, you're the expert. So I think it's almost like a confidence thing for you. You just need to come into your light, basically. Like, you're the expert. You have the experience. You've been with Beachbody long enough to kind of see what it's all about and see, the path that you can take people down. So now it's just time to be a little bit more direct and say, I have such a big, vision for this, and I see where you fit into that, and I see the goals that you have for your life and how those can be achieved through Beachbody. I mean, what is stopping you from doing this? And just lay it out there.
Okay.
Well, actually, I heard that same thing on a national wake up call, and the line, I think it was a girl, she said, what do you need to know to say yes? And I've used that line so many times, like when I don't know what else to say, I've used that for coaches and for challengers, and it works. Like, what is it? Like, if you can get an objection, then you can talk about it. But what do you need to know to say yes?
Okay. I think this would be a good area of personal development for me because I am the most passive person in the world. And so to me, I would be like, what? Like, I can't say that to someone, but you guys do it and it works.
No, you know what though? But you've done it. You were telling us with your challengers how you redirected them. So now it's just practice because I'm the most shy, quiet person, terrified to talk to people before Beachbody. And now I'm like, whatever, I don't even care. Because I love it that much that the fear is just like not even existent. If somebody told me no, I'd be like, okay, well, you're not very smart then because this is awesome.
Yeah, and I feel that way too. And I don't think that it would hurt my feelings. I don't know if that's why I'm passive. I think I just am passive because.
Do you think you're almost like too empathetic? Like you're too like, oh, well, if I were them, I wouldn't, like how would this make them feel if I'm like being
yeah. Like if someone were to say to me, I guess, like even though I think that's awesome, if someone were to say, what do you need to know to say yes? I'd be like, no pressure me,
What did I say to
so.
you? What was our conversation for you to become a coach?
Well, I was watching you for so long before that I messaged you, asked to join a challenge group, knowing I wanted to be a coach. And then after that, you're like, how are you doing? I'm like, good, I want to be a coach. And you're like, you do? Go for it. So I don't know. I just have not watched or experienced that dialogue of, are you like someone not being sure and like what you say to them when they're not sure to invite them into coaching, because I get that unsure from everyone that I invite and I don't know what to do with that unsureness, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I think Catherine's question is great, and just I would even like, explore what they're unsure, like, well, what do you think coaching is? I've asked people that before and gotten pretty great conversations out of it, where they're like, well, you post on Facebook a lot and you do the workouts, and it's like, you can build off of that at least, instead of them just saying, I'll get back to you, because them getting back to you, they're not taking any action between the time they had that conversation with you and the next time you talk to them about it. So the video for me is so helpful. Actually, Lindsay sent me, I forget what it's called now. It was like one of the videos in the Coach Online office, and it literally like, I was like, yes, I want to do that, so I think the videos are great. I always use them.
I've never used the video. I've seen one of the videos of what is coaching, and it's maybe like personal opinion on my part, but it seems something like that came from the mid 90s, and it's just like,
okay.
You know what I'm talking
about? Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. What is it? For whatever reason, like I use them all the time, and I think it answers a lot of questions. I don't have to repeat. The information is already out there basically, so I don't have to repeat it. It's already in a tool that I can use. So I love it for that reason, and I also love it because I can be long-winded in how I explain things. So the video I think is concise, it's to the point, it's like, lays it out there, and then when you follow it up with what did you like about it, how do you feel Beachbody can fit into your life or enhance your life, then you have people focusing as they watch the video on the positives, like, like, oh, wow, I could use some extra income, or like, yeah, like for me, tying workout accountability in with money was such a huge motivator. I'm like, okay, I'm definitely going to do the workouts if there's income involved. But before that, I had no real desire to stick with it. As shallow as that sounds, or whatever, I don't even know what that sounds like, money grubbing as that sounds. It was just like, for me, it just made it like concrete, like I have to do the workouts because I see this vision for the future.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, it's something that we pour a lot of our time into, and it's something a new coach is going to be pouring a lot of their time into. And as much as this is not about money, time is money. And so if they're going to be spending their time dedicating, if they're going to dedicate their time to coaching, I mean, it's good to bring up the aspect of making money. So that makes sense.
And like I always say, especially being a full-time coach, the income is what enables me to help more people. So even back then I was thinking, you know, as like a brand new coach, I'm like, okay, the more people I can help, the more people I can help, which is like kind of like a crazy thing to think about, but it's neat how it expands. And that's not everyone's goal. You might have people like Anna actually is just basically a hobby coach because she was in dental school and now she's like a legit dentist. So for her, it wasn't about that. So I think digging deeper into, you know, what they could get out of the experience helps in your conversation with them. So if it's someone that's a professional that has an incredible income, it might be about support, having something fun, having a positive, you know, place in their life where they can go. It can be about, you know, the team. It could be about accountability. I mean, there's so many different ways that somebody can use Beachbody or being a coach. So it's not always about the money, but for me it was.
Thank you. That helps a lot.
Yay. That was great. Thanks for staying on, guys. Don't feel, you know, pressured to stay on, but I love brainstorming with you guys, connecting and just having fun on Zoom. So I guess we can end the recording. Any last thoughts before I hit stop? No?